Welcome to your CounterSketch trial. Upon launching the CounterSketch software, you will see your start screen appear and it will look like the window shown here. Our start screen is broken down into different tiles, which just help us categorize the different library models we have within CounterSketch. If you are looking for an icebreaker, or if you have a customer who doesn't know what they want, a great starting point for CounterSketch is this Find Your Style quiz here. If I left click on this icon, it'll bring me to this Take the Quiz window. And here, it's going to give me 10 different images, and I'll have to go through and select the one that's most appealing to me. I'm just going to click through. Once done, based on the images you selected, CounterSketch is going to give us two different design styles that best fit our selections. If we are in agreement with these two styles, we can select Browse these styles here, and that's going to filter down all of our search results to reflect those styles. To get back to my home screen, I'm going to click on my breadcrumb trail at the top of my window. I'll select this little home icon. Now we're back at that start screen. If we don't want to take the Find Your Style quiz and we want to dive right into a specific tile, we can simply left click on the desired tile. I'm going to go ahead and left click on this solitaire tile, and that's going to filter all of my library models to show only those solitaire rings. This brings us to our search screen where we can search for specific models. I could utilize my filters here at the top to kind of filter down these solitaire rings even further. If I left click on center shape, I can go to princess stones, and this is going to filter all of our solitaire rings to only show me those that can accommodate princess set center stones. So we can scroll through. If we want to make our icons larger or smaller, we have this little slider bar at the top of my page. Sometimes it's best to go a little bit bigger so that your customer can kind of get the full effect of the piece. If we want to see our models in different viewports, we have these little icons here that we could easily left click on to kind of change the viewport at which we're seeing our model. Over here on the left, we have our display materials that we could also modify. So if I left click on this center icon, I can modify my center stone to reflect whatever stone I want. I can do the same with the metal. So if I know I want yellow gold, I can go ahead and apply that here. I'm going to left click on a ring. That will open up my preview screen. My preview screen is going to give me a little bit more information about the model. So it'll have my model number, series number, style, and design element. It also has those 4 viewports that we saw in our search screen, and we can simply left click to toggle through them. At the top of my preview screen, I have a few different center stone shapes. These are all of the different center stone shapes this particular model can accommodate. Once I left click on Start Designing, it's going to open up my customization screen, and here is going to be where I make all of the modifications to my piece. I can rotate my piece around to kind of view it at different angles. And over here on the left, I have my design stack, which is where I'm going to modify my piece. I first want to select the appropriate ring size by just using this little drop-down menu. And then I also want to go ahead and turn on accent stones on my shank, so I'm going to simply toggle that on. The next thing I want to do is modify this center stone. I do want a princess cut stone, so underneath gem center, gem shape, I'm going to left click on princess. Right underneath my shape selector, I have a size slider bar. I can use it to slide to the right or the left, depending on if I want to enlarge or decrease the size of my center stone. And then right under that, I have the specific dimensions of this stone. So if you're using a customer stone that doesn't necessarily fit the default sizes, you could always left click here and type in those specific stones. You can shop Stellar Stone inventory right through the software by using these icons here. And we're going to go ahead and make a few more modifications to this engagement. I want to change that profile bottom shape to something more square. And we'll see our ring update as we change it. The next thing I want to do is maybe add in a piece of scroll under this head. I could do so using our freehand parts library. Located at the bottom of my customization screen, I have this little plus icon. If I left click, that will open up my part toolbox, which, similar to the start screen, is broken down into different tiles. Freehand parts are essentially parts and pieces that we can use to either add to existing library models, or we can use this library to build models from scratch. In this case, I just want to add an existing piece of scroll work to a library model. So I'll go ahead and left click on scroll tile, and I'm just going to grab this piece of scroll here. It'll give me that preview screen with those 4 viewports and more information about the piece at the bottom. And once I select Start Designing, that's going to import that into my model. Once in my model, I'm going to use this gumball here to make adjustments. So I'll go ahead and rotate it out. I want it to sit nicely in this gap, so I'll go ahead and pull it up using this gumball, pull it out. And then I'll probably need to resize it a bit, make it thicker. And now we have this nice piece of scroll sitting under my center stone. I'm going to go ahead and select my piece of scroll and do a top mirror so that we have that same piece of scroll on the opposite side. And then last thing I want to do to this piece is actually add in a matching band. At the top of my customization screen, I have the option to toggle on a matching band. I also get a band 1 tab over here in my design stack. It's automatically going to grab that finger size from the engagement, but I want to go ahead and toggle on my gems so that way I have accent stones on my band to match my engagement. Once your piece is complete and you want to go ahead and submit it for production, we can go ahead and left click on this order icon here. All of the pieces created in CounterSketch are manufactured by Stellar's CAD/CAM department, so you're able to actually submit your piece right through the software. You don't have to exit out and go to a web browser. You could submit your piece to our CAD/CAM department by simply left-clicking on this order button. You'll need to go through and fill out all of the information. Any categories that have this kind of orange banner on them are just indicating that it is incomplete, and it will not let you select Get Pricing to submit your order if you're getting this incomplete. So I'm just going to use this little drop down and do No Stones Supplied. That way we get that green complete banner. We have the option to choose different finishes. Depending on the metal we selected in our display material section, it will auto-populate here. We can still go in and adjust it if we change our mind. I'll go ahead and go back to yellow gold. We can choose the quality of those melee stones. So if we scroll down a little bit, we have this quality drop down. We can choose quality. If you are supplying those stones, we have that option to select that as well. And then we have a few different options you want to go through before you actually submit your order. Any additional design notes or requests you need to add, you can do so here. And then once you're ready to submit your order, you can left click on Get Pricing. My Get Pricing screen will appear here. To submit your design to CAD/CAM, you'll need to fill out these areas in red and then left click on Request Quote. Once you select Request Quote, you'll have to wait about 24 to 48 business hours for our CAD/CAM department to actually validate that file and make sure it is up to production standards, and then they will send you a quote back. Keep in mind, any price you see while in the CounterSketch software, so this total price here, any cost you see is going to automatically reflect your markups if you have your Stellar Showcase markups set up. So you never have to worry about hiding this price or adding in your margins. CounterSketch will automatically do that for you. Once your piece is submitted to our CAD/CAM department and you get that quote back, you can go to stellar.com/CAD/CAM services to view that job. Your projects page is going to look like the image below, and you simply select View Details to open up that specific project. Once open, you can go to the Quote tab, and this is what your quote you receive from our CAD/CAM department will look like. It'll have everything broken down into specific categories, and you'll also get renders of that final project. You can either accept the quote to move it into production, you can make changes, or you can cancel the request. Keep in mind, your piece will not be moved into production until you accept this quote. So even though you submitted it through CounterSketch, you still need to accept that quote for us to actually produce that piece for you. Also within this job, you do have a progress tracker, and this is going to let you know at what stage in the production process your piece is at. So is it in casting or has my job shipped already? And this is just a nice little visual to kind of keep us on track and let us know exactly where our piece is. For any additional questions about CounterSketch, please reach out to any of our sales reps and they will be happy to help you.